Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Srijan Timilsina, the current Guinness Book of World Record holder for the world record longest title of a book. I'm indeed delighted and honored to be a part of this grand event as a speaker to give a presentation on the topic, which indeed is the theme of today's TEDx event, that is tireless striving. And here I begin. Life is a magnet. In front of that magnet, there are two iron fillings, one good, the other bad. Attract any one of them to shift to the other will be very hard. Have a firm dedication on a thing, success will definitely come to you. As the saying goes, as you sow, so shall you reap. Always be careful that whatever one gives now, sooner or later, one will definitely achieve it back. It can be well described from the life history of Ernest Ruska, the discoverer of electron microscope, who was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize only 55 years after the initial discovery. And also from the life history of John Gregor Mendel, who was declared as a world-renowned scientist only after 16 years of his death. So hard work pays. Now, as humans, we are all living in nature and are bound to follow the rules, norms, and regulations of nature indeed. We are all to struggle for existence. As the saying goes, and the strongest theory of evolution to say is adapt to evolve or perish. Life without struggle and life unexamined is not worth living. Now, if anybody comes out from somewhere and asks us a question to describe our childhood in a single word, what would that be? For most of us out here, it might be amazing, good, interesting, epic, and so on. But as told to me by my seniors and elders, the best word that could describe my entire childhood would be the word mischievous. I was extremely naughty, extremely mischievous during my childhood days. I have a history of fall from almost 3 stories, so by that one might know how good I was during my childhood. But however, I was always fascinated by the subject science. I always loved to carry out experiments and see things practically so that I could learn it in detail. So I was studying in class 5 when I had written a book entitled Key Points of Science, which was meant for class 5 students. In that particular book, I had included those points that a student of class 5 is supposed to know. However, this book went unpublished. Later, time went on. I went on carrying out various experiments, reading various books, and then let me talk about an incident that literally changed my life. My class 7 had ended, and class 8 was left to begin. I was 12 years old then, when one of my cousin brother, Swastik Dai, came to our home, and since I was very much mischievous as a child, very, very mischievous, that time he noticed that I had become a bit good. Then he told me that he had now become a Cro-Magnon man. That means I was around because while I was young, that means I was in the verge of becoming a human being. Now, as a student of class 7, I wondered what Cro-Magnon man was, as he did not tell me about it and rather asked me to learn. So I started to search and began reading books and fell in love with biological anthropology. And to be reminded that there were no facilities of the internet, the electronic devices with me at that time, so I had to completely rely upon books, journals, and so on. And then I was interested to learn how we evolved from our ancestors, and thus I had already begun writing my book. Then one day, my dad took me to a world record being set by Timilsina. During that very event, he had kept his 2 world record certificates for exhibition. I saw it, and since then, I had an inner will to hold such certificate with my name engraved in it. Then during that very event, I asked the website of Guinness World Records to rate, sir, began searching for possible topics where I could break the record. One might be amazed to know the fact that I have actually applied for 4 world records, with the very first application dating back to 3rd September back in 2010. Among them, 3 got rejected early, and finally, the 4th was applied on 4th October 2010. At the time I filled the form, the longest title had around 700 characters in its title. A short time after I filled the form, it was already broken down to 5,000 characters. And before I formally submitted my documents, it was already 6,067 characters, while mine had 11,284 characters and 1,809 words in it. I had written the book while I was studying in class 8 in Paragon Public School. And then an amazing thing happened. Since I was studying and learning various things about the field of biological anthropology, I literally began research when I hadn't heard the word research. And then time went on. While I was, my book, I took almost an entire year, that is the entire class 8 to write my book. I was in class 8 when my book got published. And while I was studying in class 11 during the 19th set exhibition held by St. Xavier's College in St. Xavier's School, Jala Hill premises, my book was formally inaugurated on 19th February 2014 by Dr. Ramkantamakaju Shrestha, the Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University. And the very next year, I was in class 12. I had given my final exams of class 12. I wasn't even graduated by then. Since I had been researching in the field of biological anthropology, since I was studying in class 8, I was able to generate a new hypothesis unknown to the world yet. I sent my papers to international conferences and got accepted too. I was invited from numerous countries to present my paper. In the recently held 7th NAST conference, where among thousands of papers, only 608 research papers were selected, which included papers of numerous scientists, scholars, researchers, and so on. My paper was also one among those accepted 608 research papers. I presented my paper, and I was the youngest in the conference. I was 18 then. Now let me talk about one particular date, that is 14th June 2018. I'm pretty sure that no matter whoever we are, from whichever corner of Earth we might be, and whatever thing it might be, we all celebrated this particular day with full enthusiasm, happiness, and love. And I'm pretty sure most of us might have forgotten it, but once I tell about it, everyone will remember. This is the same very day when the official opening ceremony of the recent World Cup 2018 took place. Now, it was a normal day for me. I went to my hospital, finished the classes, and came back. And since it was a global event, I too watched it. And the opening ceremony followed by a match between Russia and Saudi Arabia, the 5-0 win of Russia. After the match was over, I came to my room, and it was almost the time to sleep. And then I had received an email from Guinness World Records. Now, an email from Guinness World Records was not new to me, since I had been sending various evidence as a proof to support my world record. Then suddenly, but this time, the subject was record approval. I immediately opened it, and it read like, "We are thrilled to announce that you have been formally accepted as a Guinness World Record holder." A dream come true moment. A dream that I saw while I was in class 8, aged 12, turned into a reality while I was in 3rd year of MBBS, aged 20. As the saying goes, if you will to have something from your true heart, the entire world will work to meet you with it. And thus, an amazing day. The 3 among the 4 attempts, 1 got successful. So I began to count the total number of days that took me to achieve the world record. And it turned out to be an amazing, mind-blowing 2,810 days. That's almost equivalent to 8 years. I later came to know that there are only 40,000 world records in the Guinness World Record database. Considering the world population to be 7 billion, only 0.0005% of the people in the world have world records. To be reminded that there are people in the world who have multiple records too. So the famous world record holders include Michael Jackson, Pele, Usain Bolt, and many more. And I'm indeed delighted and honored to be a part of this world famous team, which means to be the one and only in the entire world. So now, I'm pretty sure by now we have already come to know that failure and rejections are a part of life. And we might have also come to realize that failure or rejections, whatever that be, comes only to those who try. So dare to try. No matter how many times we fail, those failures inspire us to do better in the days to come, so that we can do something better, something enigmatic, and reach our aim one day or the other. Indeed, failure plus continuity ultimately leads to success, which indeed is the vicious cycle that we all modern humans go through in our daily lives, and which indeed is the tireless striving that we all go each and every day and every moment. Indeed, we must always remember that only fools do not make mistakes. Talking about me, myself personally, I have failed almost more than 50 to 60 times, even rejected. Even for the case of world record, I had been rejected thrice. And in the 4th attempt, I was able to achieve my aim. Now, this picture of an iceberg literally depicts me and each and every one of us out here. The top part of the iceberg, which is around 10%, is what one sees me right now. The under part of it, which is around 90%, is what I have gone through, the failures, the rejections, the tireless hours of hard work, and many more. And this literally depicts us all. Thus, we are to work and take something to the most extreme possible, to find something enigmatic. And for sure, the nature will take us to the most extreme in an attempt to do so. Now, I'm pretty sure that we are all familiar with this picture of a pyramid. It's well said that a child, whenever is born, has thousands of dreams and aims in life. And as he or she grows older, the aims start to decrease because of the social stigmas, environment in and around us. And by the age one is supposed to achieve his or her aim, there's only a small thing left with it, as like that of a pyramid in a descending order. We are all familiar to the fact that a human being in total has 266 talents, and by birth, we achieve 25 of them. And it depends solely upon us whether to increase, decrease it, and even if we are able to utilize one of it to the most exemplary possible, we can do something which no nature has ever created. Thus, we should keep in mind that imagination without intellect only gives rise to nonsense. We might be interested in various fields, not in a single field. And like the base of the pyramid, we are to make our information, the knowledge in that particular field better, so that like that of the pyramid, we can reach the height in one day. Keeping in mind to chase our dream in life, don't let our dream chase us in life. Now, I'm pretty sure that whoever we are, whatever culture, religion, tradition, norms, values we follow, we celebrate one day each year with full enthusiasm, happiness, and love. I'm talking about the birthday. So like everyone, I do celebrate my birthdays. So I was celebrating one of my birthdays when my very good friend sent me a message which read like this: studies have shown that people who have more birthdays live longer. Now this is a true fact, because the more number of birthdays you're going to celebrate, you're going to live longer. However, this also signifies a bitter truth, that we are all out here, but only for a limited period of time. No matter whoever we are, ranging from the microorganisms to we modern humans, so-called Homo sapiens sapiens, or wise men, have one thing in common, known as the life expectancy. Now, frankly speaking, I'm a guy who believes to have a life expectancy of over 4,000 plus years, and I mean it. So one day, an event occurred on 13th October 2018. I was reading my books in my room, and then I suddenly started talking with the Google Assistant. I see I've got no one else to talk with even. So I started talking with the Google Assistant and asked her a question, that is, what is your life expectancy? To which she replied and showed me a link to a BBC website which actually showed my life expectancy. And then I immediately opened it and entered the data like age, gender, country, and then it asked me, whose statistics do you want to see? Male, female, or both the statistics? I just skipped both the statistics, and then a message popped out from my computer window reminding me that I have 53 to 54 more years to live by. So my 4,000 plus years of life expectancy dwindled down to 53 to 54. So what I meant to say is, everything that has a beginning has an end. Nothing ever stays the same. Time is nature's way of keeping everything from happening at once. Dear friends, let's follow our intuition, do work for a change with a change among us, and one day or the other, after the thousands of hours of tireless striving, once we reach the height of success, we'll proudly be able to say the famous phrase, Veni, Vidi, Vici, literally meaning, I came, I saw, I conquered. Lastly, all the things which are impossible are possible, as the things which are possible were, one or the other time, impossible. Carpe diem. Have a nice day.